As you saw in the title, I did run 224 kilometers in 30 days. I'm going to show you the proof on my phone and explain exactly how I was able to run such distances in such short time. But first, quick clarification so there's no confusion, right? I'm going to show proof on my phone right now. But so there's no confusion, and the clarification is that this month I ran 38 kilometers, but September 2025, this year, I ran 224 kilometers, or 225 kilometers if you're rounding up. So that's the whole proof of this, right? I ran in 21 activities over 30 days. I wanted to be transparent so you understand exactly what you're looking at, because some people might not understand. So this month 38, but September of when I actually did this was 224 kilometers over 21 activities. So it wasn't just one big huge run, right? Over 21 days, or over 21 runs, sorry, over 30 days. And I didn't run every day. So there was not 30 activities or 30 days. So that's the actual key, is not running every single day. And now let me explain how this actually happened. So I will pull out the proof again so you can actually see more running as well in the whole month of September. So it wasn't just about running every single day. It was more about proving to myself, So it started with an 8-day streak, as you can see, September 3rd. So obviously there's before runs. It's not just like one day I woke up and did this. So there is before, boom, and there was an 8-day streak to start it off, which could be pretty crazy to some people, but it's just repetition and repetition. And I'll explain how I was able to achieve these later in the video, but I'm just going to slowly scroll through so everybody can see. You can understand that it is not baloney. And also, I'll click on this last one. I'll turn it away so I don't want to dox where I live, but 9 kilometers, 1 hour, 7 minutes a kilometer, basically 700 calories. And then also go to splits. So it shows, sure. So 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, just for that run itself, all the way to the end. And I'll do a chart as well, so it shows. And each of those runs have this as well, but I don't want to go through all of them because it would take forever. I'm not sure everybody would want to see that either. So I'll just show this one. But it wasn't just about running, I wasn't chasing speed. I wasn't trying to impress anyone either. It was more about a reinforcement loop within myself. So after that, I ran every other day, after those 8-day streak. And then it was just showing up, right? So as you saw, there were some days that I didn't run, and then there was other days that I ran every day. So it was mainly just about showing up. This wasn't about running. It was proving to myself that I could do something consistently, right? So then after that 2 weeks of kind of locking in, that 8 days and then a break and then keep continuing to do it, something changed after about 2 weeks, right? And I'll explain what changed. So my discipline, my identity, my confidence, and my brain shifted. And it also made a reinforcement loop. So I was able to achieve such 21 days out of 30, right? So there's 21 runs, 30 days. To most people, they're like, whoa, what do you mean? Like how, right? But that reinforcement loop is how I did it. So it started with discipline, and I started to be better, right? Overall, I was like not thinking about the struggle. I wasn't procrastinating. I was just acting. And to me, I feel like that's me being better because I'm not worrying about how I feel. I'm more worried about getting the run done and just acting without hesitation. My identity after the 2 weeks of running, the running slowly became my identity. I was that guy that was running. Even to myself, I was like, okay, I guess I'm just this guy now, I'm just running all the time. But your body follows suit. So for the people that are trying to do this themselves, say if you start running once a day, twice a day, for a week or for a long period of time, your body slowly, morphs into that and slowly like builds it as a part of you. You know what I mean? So running became way less effort, if that makes sense. Instead of before when I'd be like, damn, this is taking a lot of toll on my body. It'd be hard when I first started running. After continuously doing it, it's like going to the gym, It's like you go to the gym for a week straight, or you go to the gym for 2 weeks straight. You have 2 days off for the rest days, and then so on and so forth. But it's like hitting the first weight you ever did. It's going to be light, so your body gets used to it. You get stronger, and you're able to do more. So That's with the whole identity, right? And then confidence. So it goes discipline, and then it switches to identity, and then confidence, and then brain shift, which includes dopamine and reinforcements and validation from myself that I could do such things. So it adds up. It's not just like, bang, I'm doing it. It's more like my body's getting in that loop, and the reinforcement loop, right? That showed 4 things. And also confidence. So the confidence skyrocketed because I could prove to myself and also rely on myself that I could do this. I could get this done. You know, no one was running with me. Obviously, I had music. Sometimes the music would, or my headphones would die. So I had no music. And then even more, I'm like, damn, okay, I did this. And it would be normal to me. And what eventually becomes normal to you could be crazy to someone else. So that's why I wanted to make this video as well. So I could show people that, you know, or explain my perception of it, how I was able to do it. And therefore, someone can implement it as well. But boosted my self-esteem hugely, which allowed me to continue the rest of the month. So confidence skyrocketed, proved to myself without validation or applause, could rely on myself, boosted my self-esteem, and then allowed me to continue. So even just the confidence I got from it, you know, there's 5 things that allowed me to build a loop even then. So there's like discipline, identity, confidence, brain shift. But then within each of those, there's a loop that rewards your body, rewards me, rewards my brain to continue to do it instead of being like, too much pain, I don't want to do it anymore, right? So the brain shift, right? Overall, my brain switched from worrying or procrastinating. Before, I would worry and procrastinate and hesitate. But now it's more like taking action over hesitation and letting my body follow suit. So the more I would run, the more my body would take less physical exertion, be able to achieve the same goal as what I would take a lot more effort to achieve before. And I started to enjoy the run itself. The pain was still there, but the run itself was way better. It was more enjoyable. I was doing it for myself. And ironically, that allowed the reinforcement loop to grow bigger. So every single one of these things reinforced the big loop itself, which is, you know, the purpose, proving to yourself that you can do such things. The more I ran, the more confidence I got within myself, the better I felt. So I kept running and kept feeling better each time. Obviously, running was taking a toll on my body, my ankle. You need new shoes, you need these things, but the feeling of accomplishment and that reinforcement loop mattered more than the pain. And without doing it, in a sense, I became, more like worried if I didn't run. More like icky feeling if I didn't run, right? It's like the people that don't run all the time, it's like, whoa, you run, like, whoa, you know, like, what are you doing? And you're like, yeah, running. But to me, it's kind of like, you know, that feeling if I didn't run. So it's that reinforcement loop, and the brain shifted from thinking effort's hard to wanting to do effort to feel good. And they all reinforce each other. So the discipline, the identity, the confidence, and brain shift, and all of those have little tweaks within themselves that keep reinforcing the loop. So if you're seeing YouTubers or people that go to the gym all the time, there's a reinforcement loop there. So they surpassed and they broke through the little ceiling that you need to break through, and then eventually you want to do it. It becomes routine. And the more you feel, the better you feel. And the less you do it, the worse you feel in the sense. It's kind of like opposite. It switches. But if you're trying to do this, right, I'm going to encourage you to start with 1 to 2 kilometers. If you run, then, you know, maybe do 1 extra or 2 extra or 3 extra, or something could be crazy as time 2. So if you run 1 to 2 kilometers, run 2 to 4 kilometers, because there's a lot more endurance that you realize that you could have, right? Go every other day, you know, track it, and don't force pace. So if I didn't track those runs, this wouldn't even be a thing right now. So make sure to track it, because then you can look back and go, damn, like, here's something I did. Maybe I could help somebody else, or maybe I could make a video about it. So don't force pace as well. So the one thing I showed you, the last run was like 10 kilometers, just under, and it was about an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes, 20 minutes. So if I forced that, I could get a lot better pace, but that allows me to burn out, you know? So it doesn't reinforce that loop. If I'm forcing the dopamine, or I'm forcing that, I need to get it done, there's no reinforcement loop. It's more just physical exertion, and eventually you're going to burn out, you know? It's like doing a burnout. Your tires burn off, and eventually you're going to have no tires. You're going to have no grip. So it wasn't perfect as well. I missed 9 days. So to myself, kind of like maybe perfectionist a little bit, but missed 9 days. So I think to myself, like, oh, what could it have been if I did, you know, 30 days out of 30. Like maybe got 250 kilometers or 300 kilometers, some crazy number. But, you know, it's not perfect. To me, it wasn't perfect. To other people, maybe not perfect as well. But there's also soreness. So the soreness eventually caught up to me, but I had to push through. And like I said before, the reinforcement loop like helped me transcend the pain, not worry about the pain as much, because I knew that there was a payoff, right? So I knew no pain, no gain, right? So if I went through the pain, eventually I would feel way better after. And think about after the fact. So if you're trying this for yourself, think about after. Don't think about during, but think about after, you know? Think about how you'd feel after you ran your first 1K or 5K or 10K. Think about after how you would feel, not before. Because during, it's like, this is boring, you know? Or it's like, damn, this hurts, like, you know? So think about after the fact. Think about, you know, all that effort and after how you would feel. Also, there was some bad runs, so not perfect runs, and or as I'd like it to be perfect, such as pace or distance, but I continued to compound and run as much as I could. So if you know, go back to the earlier into the video when I'm scrolling through, there's some runs that aren't 10Ks, you know, there's some runs that are more than that. But to me, it's kind of like I would strive for 10K goal, you know, so. And to others, it might be crazy, but to me, it's like, I need to get that, or I feel like, you know, I'm not doing good enough. And then this isn't about running. It was proving to yourself that you can do hard things. So imagine proving to yourself that you could do it, and you could do such hard things, and build that reinforcement loop for yourself, because, you know, it reinforces the confidence, the identity, the brain shift, you know, the discipline, and it creates that loop, you know, it creates that I can do this, I can do hard things. Imagine I could do this, what else could I do, you know? So hopefully you do implement such things. Hopefully you do try. Hopefully you're able to experience such things as well. And if this helped you, subscribe, like the video. Helps the channel more than you know. Thank you.